Wait, so this is exactly 42 to 21, so it means we won. No way, man, this might be the only time you see this. This, of course, is not the perfect draw. We will go with Annex, because that means that we probably won't miss lands in the future, and that's the priority. We need to keep going. Man, this card will be so much better. We would already have Hedron, and basically like 7 mana on the next turn potentially. But now we are a little bit in a different place, but it's fine. Now we can use this. So our opponent's strategy will be absolutely glorious. They play 4 lands and Kona. That's it. That's the whole gameplay. Oh boy, Kona decks are something else. Basically, let's see what our opponent has. We needed to tap. Oh my god, they are good at magic. To be absolutely honest, I think there is a chance we can win through this. So I will play this, because I have an idea. The problem is that they will get a lot of mana. That is a bit of a problem. And we still need to probably spend 2 mana to get rid of Kona. But I'll tell you, if we get the right draw, I think we can still win. Let's make, like, we need one correct card. I think. Maybe 2. Tenacity. I really think we should probably just scry. The right card is what we need, not amount of cards. Yeah, that would be a dead draw. Alright, let's see what we get. This is one of the cards. I kid you not, this is actually one of the cards we need. Bro, I can actually kill this. What? I knew about it so hard. But do we want to keep Kona? Okay, let's do the thing that we know we should do. This is kinda huge. This is kinda huge. So, if we remove Kona, we cannot do anything else, right? I mean, we could sweep the board here. That's kinda massive. Man, we will actually win this game, I think. I would love to get Tenacity going, but I think this is just too good. Especially with Annex, we know that we will win the card advantage wars. So guys, there is a chance we'll actually beat a turn 4 Kona into Knight of Rounds, and we answered all of it. No problem. Yep, now they are searching. If they play Origins, that means they have no place. And they're trying to find them. Of course, it's still very strong play, but I think it's not as strong as they want it to be. They have this, we need to keep that in mind. Okay, this is huge. So we want to go Tenacity. Okay, I think we need untap land. So we go this into Tenacity. They will get the mana, and I really don't want them to get mana. So we will go like this. I would love to keep it, to make sure that we can kill Tenacity, but I guess they have Vacuum, so that will be a bit of a problem, right? If this dies, they can use Vacuum before it gets back, basically. I would love to keep Tenacity. Yep, amazing. Now they play second Kona and they tap it. However, they already used the best card, right? Knights of Round had to be the best card they had, because that's, you know, what you put. Let's see what the second bone pit is. It can be another Knight of Round. Yuna. Okay. And Yuna gets Knights of Round. Alright, absolutely legit. No. Amazing. Amazing. Oh my god, the amount of power we are battling here is actually mind-blowing, man. Our opponent is just spamming 5 and 9 drops every turn. Every turn for 4 mana. They made like 15 mana of plays here, but we still can do it. Man, we need to lose life. Man, okay, how do we lose life? Man, how do we do it? So if I go Withar, we deal 11 damage. We don't have a demon, and this will tap us fully. Man, how do we do it? I think there must be lethal somewhere here. I need to actually tank on it. Oh man, you know what? I think we actually have to sweep the board. I don't think we have lethal. You know what would be lethal? Godless Shrine, because we then pay life and then we win. This is something we want. We will take it. That actually might help a little bit. Man, this is so close. Okay, they decided to block. So we want to man, no, we actually don't want to deal damage to them. Let's see if they see the play. This will be highlighted, unfortunately. Yeah, they see the play. Not much we can do about it, unfortunately. That was a big loss for us. We cannot set up anything. Well, we can go for Sanctuary. Okay. I think... No, I'm not sure. I'm trying to find Withar. It's there, guys. It's there, guys. I could deal damage, but I don't want to deal damage here. We can... Man, we need Tenacity and Withar on the same turn. That's why it's so important that they don't exile it. So Horror, our opponent, is taking a lot of mana. They can use map tokens, they can probably play all of the cards from the hand because they have those stations. Man, this will be kinda crazy game. And by the way, guys, so we are clear on this. Our opponent was literally at 1 life. Because we could switch the life totals, and we had Tenacity, so that would be 11 damage and then 11 damage. So they would be at 1, literally, after taking 22 damage. Obviously, Smuggler's Surprise kinda good here. They got double Overlord, which means that, unfortunately, the Onslaught continues with just, what? 14 mana of place, easy. That's one of their weaker turns so far. Man, the meta decks right now are insanely crazy. It's fine, we can handle it, but it's getting to a point where answering 15 mana of place every turn is a little bit resource intensive for us. Man, this is actually so close. And we will have to Day of Judgment into Tenacity, I think. This is good. We want to take damage. We actually want to take damage. The more we take, the more we deal. Okay, and we will draw a card here. I could activate this, but then it dies to Day of Judgment, of course. Oh, I didn't want to live gain, I think, but it's fine. We'll make it work. We need a lot of mana, because if we had enough mana, we would already win this. Wait, can I... I think we won. Not yet, but I think that will be enough to win. So we will go for Ugin, exile the Knight of Round, and then sweep, because we will have enough mana. Yes! Let's go, Ugin. You need to show them what the real power is. By the way, we just answered double Knight of Rounds, because why not? And now we can take the mana, and that means we can sweep the rest. Bro, come on, how many decks could actually survive this? From turn 4 Kona into double stations, into double Overlord and double Knight of Round. All of this didn't make us crumble, and on the next turn we literally win the game, because with Ugin we have extra mana. We can play Tenacity basically for 1 land, because 3 mana we'll get from Ugin, actually 2 because we need double black, and then the rest mana goes to Withar, and that's 15 damage times 2, so our opponent will literally lose the game on the next turn. We just need them to not do anything crazy that kills us on the 1 turn. And guys, I don't think this deck can. Unless they play Bahamut and answer Ugin, I think killing Ugin is the only thing they can do. Bro, this is too weak. Like, this is only 6 mana of... Bro, come on, not even close. So guys, you will be witness to one of the coolest Withars ever seen in Magic. Oh boy, look at this. Look at freaking this. We go Tenacity, and I cannot believe we'll win this game against This was this deck full might. They did everything they dreamed of, and we still beat everything. Good game, our opponent knows. Oh man, this is so mean. They should really give us the lethal, but you know, it's Mythic, so everyone explodes. Man, remember when Iron's Epiphany was a thing in Standard, because you could just play a 7 mana win con? Imagine this. It's crazy how quick Standard got. Like, you can see most of the meta decks are like decks full of 1 and 2 drops, because that's the only thing that can actually play before you die. But let's go with Terminus. That's why we have ramp. I was considering playing 1, but it's such an important part of your strategy that it feels like, 2 is a must. Like, I would even consider 3. Especially if Hedron, you can just go with this. And you can see what's going on. Our opponent already just hitting face like there's no tomorrow. So what do we do? I think we go for the demon on the next turn, to be absolutely honest. So we kill one of the creatures. Hedron is kinda nice. I will take it. A little bit late, because obviously this was the turn to play Hedron. But we'll try to make it work. Not amazing, but what can you do? What can you do, guys? Swing face. The mark of standard. Swing face forever. We do it now, because then the map tokens cannot be used. Pre-combat phase. They would already +2/+2 probably something. So this helps a little bit. And now we can go for... Well, we could just go for Annex. I think they will counter whatever we do. So let's go Hedron first. It still probably will get countered. Okay. This cannot get rid of mana abilities, right? I honestly think that this is kind of okay. So they can deal 5, 6, 7, 8 damage at most. We will be at 1 after Annex, which is actually kind of fine, because next turn can be Withar. Especially if we get Cavern of Souls, it's uncounterable then. So, very, very, very close. Our opponent, as you can see, play creatures, swing face, that's how you do it. And let's see what they will go for. I think they won't use the last 2 mana and keep the counter spell. The Tidebinder, probably not exactly what they want, but it's still decent enough to take. So, we could go Ugin and get rid of something. I think we go all in, man. So how much mana do we have? 4? 6, 7. So this one doesn't change a thing. Let's make the play and hope they cannot counter it. We can switch 15 life right now, meaning that we actually will start winning on board, because we can just pressure them with Vigilance and Lifelink. Like, this creature single-handedly beats this board. Okay, okay. When we actually switched lives, no way. They kinda wasted this Tidebinder. Okay, so they want to keep swinging face. That's the game plan. But now we have a 5/5 lifelinker. And this might be a bit of a problem for our opponent. I think we are actually starting to get some value, guys. Let's swing. By the way, this is lethal, of course, so they need to do something about it. Unfortunately, this is a tap. Alright. So what do we do now? We can get Ugin. Let's actually count the mana. So 5, 6, 7, 8, potentially 9. So I think the best play is this. We go Ugin. Ugin is a bro. And we get rid of the biggest creature. If they draw cards, that's... Yeah, I think we go for this. We also get the demon, which means that we live game. I think we win this game, guys. As you can see, single play like this, and suddenly you have so much breathing room. This was for counter spells, by the way. So now it's very hard to attack. They already used their tricks. Filthy, filthy tricks. And yeah, the situation looks way better for us right now. They can start doing some cards. But don't forget, we can pressure them super hard. And because we switch the life totals, every attack from us kills them. Even playing Annex kills them. And this is amazing card on every turn except now. Because now it's too slow. They need to keep blockers right now. And if they attack, they lose creatures. So basically they waste 2 creatures a turn for now. And this is interesting. They feel that they need to pressure, and that's probably correct. I honestly think they should just... Well, they cannot swing all, right? Because then they die. We go for this. This forces them to either use the mana fully and tap if they want the card. Or, not get stuff. This is crazy. So you can play Hedron and get rid of the first creature. You know what? Let's go for Villain. Tenacity could also be interesting. Yeah, let's go for Snake, I guess. And we'll live gain with Ugin. So we get rid of the blocker, just to make it more interesting. The Tidebinder. Okay, okay. That's how you do it. Ugin doesn't have abilities right now, just so we are clear on this. And what do we go for? I think we just attack with this guy and we keep the demon. This is the first block, I guess. And if they bounce something, it has to be Withar. But I think this is better. I think this is still better. I guess I could draw cards with Archive, because we actually have more plays than this. I kinda forgot about this part. But shouldn't matter too much, because as long as we have Withar in board and so much life gain, like mono blue isn't very good at dealing tons of damage. Like this deck is kinda weak, like this is like the weakest part. Exactly like our weakest part is drawing clans from the top. That's... we are bad at magic. And we have another Ugin. So our opponent is dead on the next turn just by Annex. They need to deal 14 damage. And I think that's it. Man, I told you, when Withar actually hits the board, it's so good for us. Our opponent has to swing all. Let's just go for this and this. And that should be it. They're drawing 3 cards, sorry. But they only have 2 mana, and that's not good enough. Because they need to deal with Annex, with Into the Floodmaw, which is 1 mana. And then they need to block 2 creatures, they only have 1. So that will be just a, you know, a sweep. Oh, now we can do it. Sure, I'll take some mana in my life, because that means we can play another Ugin, get rid of Curiosity, and enjoy our deserved win with double removal as the final play. Man, this is actually kinda crazy. I think the music actually broke. It was so good it broke the game again. So let's swing and enjoy our victory. Etherize is 4 mana, so they cannot play it. They can probably tap one of the... No way, they have double. No way. No way. Okay, it's fine. It's absolutely fine, guys. We probably... Well, I guess we don't mind it. Let's draw a card. Amazing. We may. Okay, so we don't have to. Let's make sure that this goes through. We decline respectfully. We draw a card, go to only 16. Remember when we were at 5? Well, those were times. The good old times. And because we switched the lives, you can see how much pressure it puts. Normally this guy would be at 20 and could ignore every single attack. And here, they feel absolutely desperate, and this is it. Let's make sure. This is uncounterable if I remember, because we predicted this one. And by the way, I told you, Ugin can kill in this deck, so let's enjoy the weirdest lethal ever. We already killed our opponent with a tome, now we are killing them with +3 life gain from Ugin. And who said that Ugin cannot finish games? Okay, so this is an unranked game when I was testing the deck, but it was so freaking epic. When you see the last play, you will know exactly why you are seeing this game. This one will be probably the most interesting. So we're playing against the Angel deck for our opponent. Giada absolutely pushing tons of, damage and counters. And I'm like, yeah, I want to go lower on the life, because that helps us win. But, I also don't want to die. So right now we set up the Hedron and I started recording because at this point I already knew like this will be epic game. And I had a feeling, but I didn't realize how cool this will be. So at this point I cannot miss lands. I need to go into 7 mana as soon as possible, go the Hedron. This is amazing draw, shoot the Sheriff, but I still want the land. And I was so happy to hit this one, because that means we can go Hedron, and now I'm counting. This is, 6, 9 damage, and Valkyrie can get counter. So I was like, they can play double Angel, and that's a lethal. So I have to sweep. And we got the Hedron back. Our opponent was like super good at removing every single permanent, including Terminus. So it actually broke the 2 mana curve into Hedron, which is, I was really unhappy about it. And we actually are ramping like crazy because we can use the Tome first. It gives us life gain. One of the cool parts about this deck, you can kinda manipulate your life total in different ways and conquer. Man, this was such a cool draw. So obviously if we get this and Tenacity, it's auto win combo. It deals infinite damage moment we like deal even 1 point of damage with anything, or life gain with anything. So Conqueror was great, but now this was Inquisitor. And I actually had such a pickle, because obviously what is the right call? Wither, right? Because you have triple, so you don't need 3 of them. No, because that will show what you will do. So in order to conceal the game plan, I actually got rid of like the best card in hand. I guess you can still play it for extra mana, but showing the Withar is actually like game breaker. You should not do it if you can. So that's why I went for this weird decision, and now we can play the Conqueror. It's still good enough, you know, just a 5/5 flyer with Death Touch and potentially life gain. Because when you deal any damage, you get the life back. And now it makes attacking way harder. We have Hedron, ×2 actually, which means we should be able to get some cards. I will probably sacrifice it then instead. Lyra is pretty strong because it pumps all the other angels and of course gets the counters from Giada. And I was like, do I want to do it? And I think I will draw right now because I want to see my options for the next turn. I counted that the mana is right. We can play Ugin, we can play Withar. We have basically all the mana we need. And here's man, I was so happy. And the moment I've seen Tenacity, it was like, okay, out. We are not blocking. We don't have to. And by the way, yeah, like, it's not instant win because Lyra has first strike. So if we attack, we don't deal any damage and we don't trigger the combo. So I went with Withar, and now our opponent actually sees what the play is. And this is kind of funny because our opponent is basically, in a way, a life gain deck. So they can go really high on the life total, which in reality means that we got super high on the life total. So we life gain like crazy because we dealt damage. Like, when you switch life, it actually counts as, you know, dealing damage and life gaining. So it gets doubled with, like, things like Conqueror and Tenacity. That's why we play them. So we went to 44, just casually. I knew it's not game breaker yet. This play was basically to give us ton of extra time, and now they need to go through 44 life, which means we can set up Tenacity, we can play some lands, and then draw with Hedron. Hedron is kinda cool because first it ramps you to the 7 very quickly, but later you can just get cards back from it. So I'm considering to play the land so I can get a bit better draw. Yeah, this was not the right draw. And with Tenacity we can actually start dealing way more damage because we have the lifelinker in the board, but I'm kinda considering whether I should draw cards and play Tenacity, but because we have free mana, we can draw cards first and get those amazing shiny new lands. I was not happy about this draw, man. I really wanted some options and we just didn't get them. And here I made a misplay. I was like, oh boy. I pressed the button just hoping to swing and see what happens, and then I'm like, yeah, if we live gain, Tenacity would double it. So that was a big deal because it would get our opponent to 9. But to be absolutely fair, like, we don't mind them going high on life total, you know? But I had to go with oops, you know? Like, just to be fair. But now that I think about it, it's actually good for our opponent to have higher life total, right? Because we have double Withar, which means we switch anyway at some point. And they're life gaining, so every life we are losing, we will also gain later back. So it actually helps us super much. So in the end, I think it wasn't a misplay, you know? I'm coping super hard, but I think that's really the case. Annex, amazing draw here, because we can use so much mana in this way. And I kinda want to attack with Tenacity, because if they block, they lower the power on board, and I get Enchantment, which hopefully is more resistant to the removal. I actually just want the passive from Tenacity here. And I was like kinda happy to see Annex, because it's what, 8 mana play? Like, Annex is just ridiculous card, I have to say. Man, at first I think we didn't realize it was like super fast. I think I showcased this card really early before it was like super popular, and I was like, man, I played with it and it actually doesn't feel like a meme, it actually feels pretty darn good. And in like 3 weeks, everyone started noticing that the card is actually ridiculous. Yeah, let's see. Our opponent has still few cards. They have this Exalt thing. And you know, even though they got lost, it's kind of okay because we already got a ton of value from this card, and now we have a sweeper, which means we can get back the Conqueror, and this is the moment when I knew that we probably got this. Lyra can attack, but that's the problem. Sure, they swing for 8. Well, they need to do it 2 more times. And we are still not dead, and of course then we can switch the life totals. The Angel, they will create a token because they life gained a ton. And now I will be calculating, am I dead? But then I realized that wait, if we switch life totals, that's 21 damage, and it gets doubled. That's 42. Bro, and this is literally a perfect lethal out of 42 life against 22 life. Like, you will never sit again probably in your life. So make sure to subscribe to get moments like this in the future. And that was the coolest kill ever. Alright, here we had to surveil because, you know, if we miss land here, we are kinda done. And the matchup is everyone's favorite, mono red. So here I went with the Tome as quickly as possible because we need to keep hitting lands every single turn so we can play Withar, you know, before we are dead basically. And I will probably be scrying, like that's at least what I'm planning right now, just to make sure that the lands are here. But we have Sanctuary for the next turn, we already missed the land here. Like we didn't miss the land drop, but we don't have the next land, so I will probably be scrying here just to make sure that we can get it, unless this is a land. It isn't. So with Annex in board, the game really speeds up. And here is Nemesis. So at this point I know this is the card you have to remove. Honestly, I think I should really scry. And probably upkeep scry as well. So yeah, exactly. Like, if you miss land here, it's absolutely devastating. And we like Hedron, but we like not getting mana screwed even more. So yeah, I mean, this is a land, let's take it. And I'm like, I would love to play Hedron, but we have to double remove, and we need to do it now. So I considered if it's worth paying 2 life to get extra removal, and the decision is yes. So I went with Get Lost here. Get Lost gives map tokens, which kinda incentivize to, you know, play a creature and use the map token, in which case the Shoot the Sheriff is actually, you know, really good answer because you get extra value with the map token. Here, of course, our opponent had second Nemesis. And this is perfection. This play would be a little bit punished if they played Rogue or something like this, because Shoot the Sheriff doesn't hit, but that was a bit of a risk and it absolutely paid off. And here it's like Snake, Villain, you can take whatever. Of course they don't play counter spells, and we have enough cores that we can play everything here. So as you can see, very decisive gameplay, and now we can use this moment of peace to set up the Hedron. And my idea was that with double Nemesis gone, because of course our opponent drew 2 of them, this is the best card for this matchup because it negates the whole life exchange plan, we should be absolutely fine for the rest of the game. So Nemesis should not be a factor anymore, which means that now life gain should get us really far. With the Tome we can life gain to 13, and when I saw this Ugin, bro, this is so perfect. Whenever your opponent has one big threat and you are just with, you know, Ugin, it's amazing. But Withar can life gain up to 20. So I was like, yeah, Ugin is great, but maybe they can lightning strike me at the end step and then go absolutely crazy with some slick shot shenanigans. And if we can life exchange up to 20, I mean, they need to go through a 5-5 with life gain and vigilance. So the next turn we attack, we block, that's 10 life gain, and they cannot really kill us in this board state. Like, we can literally ignore Ruzik, take the damage, and just go whatever, bro. And of course on the next turns we can Ugin, we have Tenacity for even more damage. Like, Tenacity is lethal, because we can hit with Withar for 5 damage, then we life gain 5, and Tenacity kills them. So if they don't leave blockers, we can literally kill them. If they attack, we can trade and play another Withar or something. So at this point, our opponent is running out of options. And Lightning Strike, okay. And the Scope. Like they made the play and then they realize what the play is. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this crazy combo. Not only you have infinite combo that deals infinite damage with Tenacity and Conqueror, you can kill your opponent with Ugin. I know everyone dreamed about it. And with Withar and some heavy ramp for, you know, Orzhov, the classic Orzhov ramp deck, we can actually play it surprisingly early, which means that we can take all the damage. You know, you take 15 damage, but you ramp. Great, because next turn you play this and it's your opponent that took 15 damage in the end. And as you can see, it's very fun gameplay, so I really hope you enjoyed, you know, trying to get some spicy, interesting decks for you that maybe you didn't see. And to be absolutely fair, guys, I will tell you a dirty secret. This idea was from one of your comments. When we played with Withar last time, someone mentioned that it's really good with Tenacity, and I was like, yeah, it really is pretty good with Tenacity, because that's the way you can actually go for lethals, where this normally never kills, right? Because one of the players needs to be alive for switch to happen. So this was inspired by you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was a very fun deck to play, and yeah, I hope it was entertaining. It was definitely for me. So guys, really thank you for watching. Thank you to all the patrons that are kind enough to support the channel. So really thank you guys for it. You absolutely rock. And yeah, if you want, you can check out the Patreon. We have some goodies there, so you might like it, and you can brag forever that you are here before this channel was huge. I guess we have 25,000 subscribers, so somehow we went this far, and in the end it actually mattered. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, guys. You rock, and see you tomorrow.